And welcome to Local Edition on Time Warner Cable. I'm Steve Swat with the Sacramento Report. In the next few minutes, we're going to talk about Governor Brown's controversial proposal to change the way public schools are funded in the state of California. My guest this segment is Sharon Quirk-Silva, who's a member of the State Assembly from Fullerton. Thanks for being with us.
Well, I'm happy to be here, Steve, and I not only am a new representative, but I'm also a classroom teacher for 27 years.
And I know you gave up teaching last November after you won the election to come to Sacramento, so congratulations on that.
Thank you.
So let's talk about school funding, because I know you're very interested in that. The governor's proposal would really shuttle more money to those districts that are have more challenges, more English learners, for example, lower socioeconomic environment. What do you think about that? It's very controversial at the Capitol, as you know.
It is, and there's a lot of people that want to understand exactly what that means to them particularly. Not only parents at their local schools, but of course school administrators, principals, and they want to know, what does that mean for my school? And the controversy is really, are we going to have schools that end up getting more dollars than others? And that will be true with this if passed as proposed. But I do think it's a critical conversation that we should be having.
Well, it's an important conversation, but your district is interesting because you've got urban school districts and suburban school districts, and they will be going presumably at loggerheads because suburban districts say, look, in the last few years, we've had to lay off teachers, we've had to increase class size from 22 to 23 to 30 or 31, and so we've taken a lot of hits too.
Exactly, and in the 65th district, which I represent, we do have a very diverse district. So in the city that I actually was teaching, Fullerton, they would actually be one of the school districts that would receive more funding, and yet Cypress, the same district, would not receive that. One of the situations out there is that all school districts would be raised back to the 2000-2008 level. So some are feeling like that's still not enough, and yet that information hasn't been clearly stated that everybody will rise to 2007, 2008, and then on top of that, those other districts that have English language learners, foster kids, and also low socioeconomic will receive more funding. And
there's also another component of the governor's proposal, and that is more local control, fewer categoricals, mandated spending. I think he calls it subsidiarity, and I think most educators like more local control.
I think many school board members like local controls. I think there is some fear by some teachers and administrators, principals particularly, with that freedom, will we also lose some oversight and accountability? So I know I just spoke to the governor's representatives this afternoon, and we talked about as much as we appreciate this new funding, we want to make sure it's used effectively to those that are in those categories.
We only have about a minute left. I know you're on the Higher Education Committee. Tell us, what's the primary agenda of that committee this year? What are you looking at?
Well, again, with Prop 30 passing, we're looking at how do we use the resources that are coming into the college level student, and some of the discussions are on online funding, some controversy there, how much is too much, how much is not enough, or how much should we add on online, but access to education, meaning opening up those courses that have been cut, and that's important in my district where we have 100,000 students attending college at Cal State Fullerton being the largest, and then two major community colleges, Cypress College and Fullerton College. So important discussion for my district, but also the state of California.
All right, well, unfortunately we're out of time in this segment, but Assemblywoman Quirk-Silva, thank you very much for coming by and talking about these education issues. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
And thanks to our viewers for watching Local Edition on Time Warner Cable. A reminder, you can see this and other interviews on My Government On Demand, also on YouTube. I'm Steve Swat. Have a great day.